Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here, Phi Beta Lambda for Wake Tech Community College, and we're going to have an interactive session on learning professional etiquette. Some of us are preparing to go on competitions, but many of us want to get a job to eventually make money. So all of these things that we learned today combine business with communication. I specifically am Miss McCoy. I teach communication as an assistant professor on the North Campus, and I used to be an advisor for Phi Beta Lambda. And then eons before that, I was a participant and a champion 3 years in a row representing Campbell University. I received second place in public speaking at the national level. I received first place in impromptu speaking at the national level, which of course means I made first place in state. And my first year, I was on a team where we placed third for business decision making. And I was first on a team for ethics, emerging business issues. So many memories, so many opportunities. But to prepare you all for both competitions and the work world where we make better money, we're here to learn about professional etiquette. Part of my mantra, my slogan is practice makes permanence. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanence. Copyright Ms. McCoy 2006. What you do in practice is what you're going to do come game time. So if you practice something incorrectly, you're going to do it incorrectly, like Shaquille O'Neal and those free throws. Those of you that don't know who he is, YouTube it. It'll make more sense. But whenever I do presentations, whenever I help polish the diamonds that you really are, I want you to understand that I'm always giving from my heart because I have a vision in mind. I already see where I want you to be, and if you're willing to consider what I give you, you're going to make it and stand out above your competition. If you need me, I'm at the North Campus. Email me, call me. Eventually, I'll be there. So let's get started. We're going to look at a few specific things, and those that are streaming, thank you for participating. Welcome. If you have questions at any time, please raise your hand and let us know, whether you're streaming or in person. I want to answer questions. I want you to know what's going on, and this is very interactive because together we win. I will address attire, posture, facial expressions, hand placement, conversation, networking and a resume plan of action, names and titles, and then a brief segment on how to actually present your presentations, whether doing it as one person, solo, or on a team. You want to be prepared for all of the above. Let's get started. The first thing I want you to understand is that school is a professional setting. Many people do not realize that, many people do not believe that, but it's true. We are in school. This is a workplace, not just the instructors alone, but for you students as well. This is a professional setting. When you're applying for a job and you need a reference, who are you going to call on? Your teachers, your advisors. You're going to ask us to be a reference. I can tell you how the student did very well in my class. They are a person of excellence. You want to make sure you treat school as a professional setting. Attire. You're going to a competition, and there are certain expectations that are considered normal. Normal attire, especially in a business competition, is a full-blown suit, usually darker colors, black, navy blue. You can get away with the stone or khaki tan, but you want to make sure it is officially a professional suit with dress shoes. You don't have to wear a jacket. Sometimes you can just wear the dress shirt and a tie, but we do prefer the full-length sleeves. When in doubt, ask an advisor, because again, you can be disqualified in a competition, for example, if you do not have a tie. I don't know how they feel about bow ties. I believe they are acceptable still. They are, yes they are. But you have to have something, because you want to look like corporate America. I came to win. Don't do it. Don't. Just don't. I know you may look nice in your snazzy red blazer suit, but don't do it. It's not only distracting, you will not be taken seriously in the professional business setting. If you want to wear this for the banquet at the end, maybe. But don't do this. Oh, and great day in the morning. wear some socks. Socks suggest cleanness, just because feet sweat, so please. I didn't think I would have to say this during the presentation, but wear some socks. No knees, they're distracting. They might even be ashy. You need to wear a full-blown suit with pants that come down to your ankles with socks. I mean, if it's fitted, fine, but no knees. It's distracting, and expectations you will not be taken seriously. I don't care how much the suit costs, let it go. Fix that hemline, bring them all the way down to the ankles with socks. Dress shoes. Now, feminine attire, got a few more options. If you wear a skirt suit, make sure the skirt comes around the knee line. And pantyhose, I've learned, can be optional. The key is for it to not be distracting, so no fishnet stuff. Closed-toe shoes. Wear shoes you're comfortable in, dressy, and that doesn't make noise, like flip-flops. Don't do it. But make sure you can walk in them. Practice, because practice makes permanence. Copyright Miss McCoy, 2006. If I've seen so many times at graduations, ladies love to try on new shoes. You don't try them on graduation day. You practice in them beforehand so you know how to walk in them. And you're going to do a lot of walking. Dressy flats are also acceptable. This one has a blouse and some slacks. 3/4 slings are acceptable. And if you want to get snazzy, again, you still want to stick with conservative colors. Black, dark blues. This is a cream khaki blended with the black and the inverse. You can be stylish, but again, professional. Accenting colors, one color, don't have the rainbow on, which brings me to the don't do it slap. Okay, let's start from the left and work our way across the street. This may be fashionably in season, but it's not professionally accepted. These are tights that she's wearing, and they are too fitted for the frame. You will not be taken seriously. Notice how the dress slacks are breathing. Let your body breathe. Breathing makes you not a distraction, but rather considered professional. This is what we call a liability. A liability where a lawsuit more than likely will happen. So don't do it. That might be cute. You can be fashionably appropriate and cute, but covered. Same with this hemline. Oh no, liability, too short, too focused, and too many colors going on. No, don't do it. And again, showing up in a competition like this, you will not only show up, you will be escorted out, disqualified, and you would have wasted your time. You would have wasted other people's time and money. Be prepared. When in doubt, ask questions earlier than later. It's down to the point where you may end up wearing the same outfit 2 days in a row if that's what it takes to qualify. So we don't want to be distractions. We want to walk in focused and taken seriously. I almost forget every time, so I just put a simple slide up. When it comes to jewelry and hair, when I do this presentation, I intentionally wore jewelry that does not make noise. If your jewelry talks before you show up or before you say anything, it's a distraction and it will cost you points. You can be simple, elegant, and focused. And don't overdo it. You don't want to have bracelets going all up your sleeves. You don't want earrings that come down, or a chain, or a necklace that's just hanging down all below your waist and everything. Simple elegance. I think the magic number is 7. 2 earrings, 2 bracelets, 2 rings, and 1 necklace. You can go less, but don't go more. But make sure it doesn't make noise, because when you speak, the most important part of your speech is your voice. If we see other things, it'll be a distraction. Also, I have not put my hands in my hair, at least I don't think I did, since I've been talking. That's because my hair is set in a certain location. You don't want your hair all in your face so that you keep having to do this, because whenever you're talking, it becomes a distraction, and then all of a sudden you look like you have a condition that you don't really have. It's just, whoo, and I'm wearing my tiara because of my birthday. Gotta be real. Thank you. But as I refocus. So, we're at competition, but I'm teaching, so I can. Your hair needs to be put in place. If you have long hair and you can't keep your hands out of it, tack it back in a ponytail. Cute ponytail. Make sure it's presented. Put some bobby pins in it. It doesn't matter. You never want your voice distracted with other issues. Put your hair in place. Tell it to stay. And do your presentation with finesse. Posture. Pop quiz, even if you're streaming. How many of you are? What are you sitting like right now? And what message are you sending with how you're sitting? Because if you just chilling in the cut, you're not ready. Even on an interview, when you sit down, you can't be chilling or rocking with it. No, because they won't take you seriously. They'll wrap that interview up so quickly, dust won't have time to settle. So notice how in this presentation, we have people that are sitting down. Their bottom is at the back of the chair, and they're sitting with good posture with your shoulders back. You don't want it too far back to where you look like you're about to swim in midair, but you don't want to be, ooh, that felt good as a stretch. But you don't want to be the hunchback of Notre Dame either. So sit up, because you are sending a message all the time. You're sending a message. If you're doing a sit-down interview with your competition, you're sending a message in how you sit. Make sure you sit with good posture. Okay. I hope this picture made you do what the baby is doing. Hopefully people don't mean mug babies. But when I tell you the power of a smile goes a long ways, do not mean mug your judges. My name is Jane Doe, and I'm so excited to be here. Today I'm going to tell you about business decision-making principles. I feel depressed, and I didn't even walk in with no issues. I got paid today. Why I didn't feel depressed? No, you need to smile. And you look lovelier when you do. Make sure you brush your teeth, but other than that, smile. Don't force it. Make a natural smile. And when you learn how to smile while you speak, then you become a professional. But in the meantime, smile just because it invites your audience to listen into what you have to say. And they're going to be smiling, hopefully. But even if they're not, you can change their frown, turn it upside down, and cause them to smile. Smiling goes a very long ways. Hand placement. Everybody take a moment and take your hands and put them in front of you like the letter L and the backwards L. Now turn them sideways like this, and I want you to go inseam to inseam where you feel that meat part of your hand. All right, so I don't want you to jab it because that's painful, but I want you to remember that when you shake hands with someone, you need to make sure you go all the way in and then do the 2-time pound and let it go. You don't want to do that fish noodle mess. You feel like a limb noodle, they're not going to take you seriously. When you walk into the judges, you're going to shake good morning, and you're going to shake every person's hand. Miss McCoy, my palms get sweaty, and I sweat like a coffee mug. I'm like, it's okay. You got to do that sweet. Do that quick. Swipe and go. Swipe and shake, because it works. I don't care if you have to do it every time. We don't want to feel sweaty palms, but we want to make sure that we properly shake people's hands. You will do so soon. Hand placement. So when you're sitting down, you got to have your hands in the right place. So that way they are not distractions. You literally don't want to twiddle your thumbs. You don't want to be playing in your hair. You want to make sure a comfortable location, a comfortable position. You can interlace them. When you're standing up, he has a position of power, folding his hands, but that's because he already owns the company. He's already in charge. You don't have the job. You don't have the award yet. You're trying to get to that position. So what you don't want to do is just walk around with your hands in your pockets. Or either pockets, you know. Because you look scared. You look distracted. You don't want to, and you look cute when you try to do that one hand and that lean rock. No, we're going in to win. We're going in to get a job. We're going to be professional. When you're talking to people standing up, a comfortable location is right here, mid-body. Because then you can go up when you explain something, but bring it back in. You can even go down and elaborate, but you bring it back in. But you definitely don't want to do this. Tell you what I want you to know. You definitely don't want to do that. No, I know you want to be super person, but not right now. Make sure we stay balanced. Placing your hands to be complementary to your moves. Again, what is school? A professional setting. It is the workplace. Keep that perspective. So what are we going to say when we meet people? Especially those that are going on to this competition, you need to always have something ready to say. Of course it'll be intelligent because you're college students. Not even worried about that. But how can you start a conversation? Hello, nice to meet you. Don't start with that, what's up? Cuz. No, don't do that. Don't do that. We are professional and we're going to maintain that. Hello, nice to meet you. Excuse me, I like your outfit. Because you're going to meet and network with a whole lot of people. I love seeing a snazzy bow tie or a nice tie. But it's something to get people's attention because when you compliment them, it creates a door of opportunity. Meet people, network, get to know one another. Smile when you do. And just like you properly opened up a conversation, you want to properly close it down. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day. It was nice meeting you. I look forward to hearing from you again in the future. I really enjoyed your speech because you're going to get to hear people in workshops. Go up to that person after the workshop is over. And you can even go to them since their presentation is over. Just literally say, I really enjoyed your speech today. Thank you so much for coming. You never know when job opportunities present themselves. You never know when you might find that could be your cousin. You have no idea. But you always want to have something ready to say. If 10 seconds or 30 seconds could give you a $30,000 a year job, what would you say? There is a movie called Pursuit of Happiness. I believe Will Smith stars in it. There are times when anomalies do happen because he showed up to get an internship, but he didn't look the part. We call that an anomaly. But in mainstream America and other countries, you got to come ready. So literally 10 seconds, if you knew how to give a proper greeting, your first and last name, since you're in school, your classification, where and what are you trying to do with your life? Translation example. Good morning, I'm Miss McCoy, because that's who I am, Miss McCoy. I teach communication at Wake Tech Community College, because I teach, that was my classification. I'm going to make up Jane Doe. Good afternoon, nice to meet you. I'm Jane Doe, and I'm a sophomore at Wake Tech Community College, and I'm majoring in accounting. Let me know who you are and what you're trying to do. If I give you more of my time, well, I want to transfer to NC State and pursue my full degree in accounting and possibly become a CPA. And I'm very good at Microsoft Office. I learned how to work the programs that accountants do. I did my own taxes for the past 2 years and did my mom and dad's taxes for the past 5. Something related to your field. Let me know what you can do because I may need an accountant. I may have an opening for an internship somewhere with a firm, or I know people that do. Opportunities are always rising. You just have to be ready for it. And you prepare by knowing this information. Always be ready because time is money. Pop quiz. What is minimum wage federally?
$15 an hour.
15. Oh, no, no, no.
Oh,
That's a good job. I believe federal minimum wage is $7.25.
25.
I didn't know if it was $7.50 if they try to up it a quarter or not.
It's still 25.
So $7.20. Oh, you know that from experience. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So for $7.25 is worth 1 hour of working at minimum wage on your feet. Uncle Sam is gonna come and get his. So just imagine $5. That's all you're gonna take out, because Uncle Sam. So if you're on your feet for an hour, 60 minutes, you've earned $5 at minimum wage. I want you to embrace the perspective that time is money. So when someone gives you 30 seconds of their time, it's valuable. And if they are making $15 an hour, if they are making $100, they won't give you all of their time. So whatever time they give you, you gotta make it count. Get in there, present your case, and do it with a smile. Be ready for it. Because school, again, is a professional setting. How many of you all know your professors' names? How many of your professors know your name?
A lot.
That's important. Online, I'm still talking to you too. Yes, yes.
I'm not online.
No, the camera.
Oh.
But I'm telling you in the clear, you want to make sure they know your name and you're not just one in the masses. You get a better experience here at Wake Tech because we get to know our students because our class sizes are smaller. When you transfer, you have to be intentional and proactive so that your professors learn your name in the midst of the hundreds of students in that class or in that department. When it comes to names and titles, again, Phi Beta Lambda is more conservative and corporate America respects titles. So when you're talking to your fellow classmates or some colleagues, people on your level, you can definitely call them by their first name, and you can use professional sounding nicknames. So if somebody's first name is William, they often call him Bill. That's still a normal nickname. But what you don't do, the no-no category, in the professional setting. Again, school is the workplace, is a professional setting. So don't call your best friend, your coworker, Smooch, Lukey, Peanut, Bones, bruh, dude, dog, girl, homie, scooter, cuz, and other words that are not in our professional vocabulary. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because, again, we want to not only keep our jobs, but we want the better job. In a competition mindset, we want to win and move on to the next level. When you talk to anyone else, you put a handle on their name until you are invited to call them a different name. Mr., Miss, Doctor, Dean, President, Vice President. I have a dean. Her name is Miss Lewis, so I call her Dean Lewis. Until she tells me I can call her a different name, then I will go with that name. But in front of everybody else, she is Dean Lewis. And I respect that title. And it is important. I know pronouns are changing, but remember that the pronouns still carry power. They carry a level of respect, and that will never change. When you've taken the time, especially to work up to something like a doctor position, you've earned it. So you wait for the invitation, but you always put out that respect by putting a handle on it. And that goes a long way. Now that we've covered everything preparatory, because you are sending a message, everything I just discussed was actually what we call your nonverbal communication. And you have a plan. Carry the conversation, wrap it up with a bow, and move on. When you do a competition that involves a presentation, especially a visual one, but not limited to. Public speaking and impromptu, we did not have visuals. We were the visual aid. So we literally spoke. With public speaking, you can have note cards. And I had an index card, and I wrote down 4 of the pillars of Phi Beta Lambda. And I practiced my speech, because practice makes permanent. Copyright Ms. McCoy 2006, practice makes permanent, babe. So how do you prepare for these presentations? You have to know something. You can't talk about what you don't know. You have to know. So 75% of the battle is pure knowledge. What do you try to say? How do you try to organize it? What is it? How do you present it? Is it in an organizational pattern before you can present it? You don't just throw paint on the canvas. You figure out what you want where and plan it accordingly. When you do have a visual presentation, such as the one I'm using here, understand that it matters. Have a go-to color scheme. Blues are nice, traditional, and I have a blue and turquoise blend. But make sure you know that the PowerPoint you create is your outline, because you should already know the rest. So less, more. Less, more. Pictures, text. Pictures, diagrams, etc. Little bit of text, the rest of the text. Do a good contrast and color scheme. Like I just said, the go-to colors. Make sure the contrast is easy. You want the dark versus the light. When I did this, dark, easy to read, lighter text. Then, white background, dark text. Proper contrast. Make sure you maintain that. And no more than 2 fonts. Make sure they're easy to read, which would be a sans serif, but not a Times New Roman serif example. And then, of course, be consistent. All the slides that I've done thus far, the title was at the top, consistently. And all my points, even when I had the columns, they were still in this latter part of the page, the bottom part. Also be consistent, which is what I just said. Use the entire space where appropriate. If you only have one picture, you spread that picture out like that baby that was smiling. Make it a big smile. So the judges will smile and your grade will smile. So more pictures, but whatever text you need. If you have to have text, just make it count. And when using graphics, make sure everything holds still and doesn't move around, or only what is needed and necessary. You can always use more slides to help tell your story. So this is a don't do it slide. I wanted to sink in. Online, you got any questions? Let it sink in. Don't do it. Just don't. Red is a powerful color, but now I want you to see what it looks like on the screen. Do not use multiple colors, whether background or the actual text. Too much. Don't do it. Don't use red on red. Some people, you think people would know. But I want to drive the point home with passion. Bright orange, because that's what it feels like, especially on the red background. Yellow and neon green. And if you did what I think you did, because I did do this on purpose, don't load text in the paragraph form, because when people see paragraphs, especially longer than 2 lines, then they are likely to stop listening to you as the presenter and begin reading the text on the slide. The speaker presenter is always more important than the visual, especially if Murphy's Law happens and you cannot use this visually. Don't do it. People will do, and I mean this is for regular class presentations. Remember this. Don't do it. Just don't. Just don't. Don't. I did not plan to do this presentation near my birthday, but it is working. So no matter how much I may talk and all the important things I say, that little graphic is doing the exact same. I'm over here. The exact same. I'm over here. The exact same graphic, just going to the jam of the beat. But I'm saying something different, but it's still jamming. Don't do it, because they won't pay attention to what you're saying. Look at the jam. Don't change your text and do multiple fonts and sizes. It's just too much. Don't leave a lot of unopened, unused space. You notice how I put the title down here. Don't do that. Just don't. And for the last torture, don't put text over a busy background or over a, don't do it. Your eyes hurt. This is not Incredibles #2. Don't be mesmerized or hypnotized. Just don't do this. All right, relief. Blink about 5 times, relief. And my first closing. Speech presentations. They come in different formats, especially for Phi Beta Lambda competitions. Some you will do solo, some you will have a partner or 2. I think only parliamentary procedures had 5 people, but for everybody else it's 2 or at max 3. So when you are doing your solo presentation, before you get to competition, before you go to school the day of your speech presentation and classes, you need to practice your speech out loud. I tell my students all day long, when you're at home and nobody else is there, take your pillows and line them up on your bed or on your couch, flip up the mattresses. If you got cats and dogs, put some dog food down, hold the cat food, tell them to stay, hold sit still. If you got children, give them a bottle of Cheerios and no milk so they can just crunch on them, and you do your presentation. Talk to them pillows like they are the real thing, because practice makes permanence. So perfect practice could make perfect, but you got to do it right. Project your voice. Pretend like you're in scenario, and those pillows are your judges. And if you throw a smile on them, they'll always be smiling at you. You got to practice with your visual aid. You got to know what slide is next. You got to know not to go back to the don't do it slide. You have to know how your flow is. And if you did extra stuff to your presentation, when everything comes up one point at a time, see, you got to practice with this so you'll know what to do. Practice shaking hands, every pillow. Do it from scratch to finish. Speak up. We want to hear you. The rooms may be about 15 by 15. Sometimes they can be smaller. Even if your audience is 5 to 10 feet in front of you, you still don't want to talk so low that nobody hears the thing that you're saying, because you're thinking, I don't normally talk this loud, but I have to hear you, and if I'm right here with you and I can't hear you, you're ineffective. And you don't want to scream out your presentation to where your judges back up and fall out their seat either. But you got to speak from the diaphragm. Project your voice, because you have something worth saying. And if you practice with me, I make you speak up anyway, because I have to hear you. Speak with confidence and have fun. People forget that element, because when you have fun doing your presentation, not only do the judges see it, but they begin to have fun too. You have to be passionate about your topic matter. Obviously, I am. I teach this. But when you have fun, you get championships. You win scholarships. You just move on up to the national competitions, kick butt, take names, and dare anybody to touch you. But the key is, you got to have fun because you prepared for this. It's not like you just got up there and wing it. When you have more than one person working, you practice together out loud before the competition multiple times. You practice together with your visual aid. So you're coordinated. You know who's going to say what part. But this is what I saw at recent competitions. You got to have a cue to let people know, I want to add something. And then don't overtalk one another. I saw a winning team, 2 young ladies, who literally had their speech presentation so practiced and memorized, they stepped up when it was their time to speak, and then they stepped back when it wasn't their time to speak. They looked like just robots. They didn't have fun. But it worked. So applying those principles, whenever someone is speaking, you look at them and you smile. Because that's what I did with my partner when we won first place at Nationals. And then when it's your turn, you speak up. You address all of your judges where they are. Don't just stick to one judge staring them down. And then whenever it's not your turn, I don't care if your jaw hurt, practice. Smile at one another. Okay, so I said that right. So to wrap up this presentation, communication is the transmission of messages. You're sending them out and you're receiving them. The words you say count. The words you don't say count. Your body language counts. From attire, the hair, the way you say what you say, called paralanguage, the way you walk, the way you stand, the way you sit, the way you move. Champions practice everything. Champions ask for help. Motivational speaker Les Brown says, I don't ask for help because I'm weak. I ask for help to stay strong. And I threw in, anybody that doesn't ask for help is a wimp. Because when we ask for help, we get polished. And polished people win championships. Polished people move on. And even if you didn't win, I've seen second and third places still get job opportunities. Networking is everything. So with all that I've presented to you, first I want to ask, are there any questions? Because if not, I want to thank you for attending this presentation.
How do you avoid being nervous?
You can't avoid that. But again, since I got a slide for it, hold on, let me find it. Click here. You will always be nervous. It just gets people different ways. We call that public speaking anxiety, my actual profession. So I'm in my flow now. I'm feeling this thing. You will get nervous. Accept that. The key is, how do you use it? How do you change it? And the answer is knowledge. If you know something, what is 75% when it comes to a grade?
C.
Which is pass it. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Talk about a pop quiz. Oh my goodness. When you know something, you can talk about it. I don't care if you have to pull out a chair and hold on to that chair. Okay, so Wake Tech has 2 campuses, and on the North Campus, there's buildings B, C, D, F, G, K, J, M, H. There's an H. We got a new M coming up. Like, you can talk about what you actually know, even if you're scared straight. But once you keep practicing what you know, then eventually you'll be out of the chair. And you're like, throw it. And then you'll learn, I know this information. I don't care if you're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You better make the best peanut butter jelly sandwich on this side of the Mississippi River. So know your information and practice it. And if you mess up, keep going and finish what you start. So I'm not supposed to tell you this, but technically there was a student back a couple years ago who messed up during a public speaking competition, and they froze for about 5 seconds. And he did not know whether or not he would advance to the next round. And this was in nationals. He messed up because he broke the rule that I told him to do, which was have your visuals, have your note cards ready just in case. I'd rather you have them and not need them than to not have them and need them. And he freaked out, and I said, breathe. Did you finish what you started? Then you have a shot. He did advance, and he actually got 7th place with a mess up. He would have got 3rd place if he would have did what I told him at the beginning. But I digress. So the bottom line is, accept that you will be nervous, but practice ahead of time and finish what you start, and you will make it. Because if you don't bring attention to your mistakes, nobody else will. Fake it till you make it. That's also what they say. Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever had to give a speech on a difficult topic?
A difficult topic.
Mm-hmm.
When you say difficult, meaning I don't know about the topic, or a controversial topic?
And like controversial for like the audience that you're giving it to. So like
hostile audience.
And so like discrimination in the workplace, like certain discrimination.
Okay.
And how to better accommodate interviewers or interviewees that have like disabilities and so on and so forth, that kind of thing. Have you ever had to do
Have
that?
I personally ever had to do that? Not exactly. But when those talks arise, I rely on knowledge and I stick with the facts. I want to be objective and state what is. Some people may not realize this, but I am an African American female instructor. I know. But I take the time to say that because it may not be shown throughout our faculty yet at this institution, but those are the facts. But I love my job, I love my students, and I'm good at what I do. I take great pride in what I do because I prepare, I practice, I grow, and my students give me what I need. So I always help my audience understand the facts, and then I focus on the positives and the direction that I want to take them in, because my job with power is to influence people to see the better picture. Ooh, I need to tweet that. It's not just about the bigger picture, it's the better picture. Write that down. I need to write that down. That was good. I need that to remember. Any other questions? Anything online? I'm good. Well, we want to thank you so much for participating in this open discussion and presentation about professional etiquette You have it, so polish it, and when you come back a winner, text somebody. Let me know. Thank you again. Wake Tech Community College, Communication and Business Department, collaborating, making things happen. Signing off.